I'm here with Kat Kerr, and Kat, I love art journaling and bookmaking and all that stuff, and I know you do too.
Oh my gosh.
And because you have brought the cutest project, which is these little tiny books with incredibly decorated covers.
Absolutely, and you know, these journals are addicting. The only problem was that they didn't come with a fun cover, and so I thought, why not make my own? So that's what I'm doing today.
Why not indeed? Let's do it.
So they come in all, you know, they're already packed with all of these pages, and I'm just going to take one page out to show you. Comes out really easily, and I'm going to use an epoxy clay, and I do need 2 equal parts, but before I start playing with it, I'm just going to put on my other glove because I am using black, and I just don't want to get it all over my hands.
Now, an epoxy clay is just a kind of clay that hardens once you mix the 2 parts and let it sit out for a certain amount of time, right?
Right. It takes about 24 hours for it to completely cure.
Oh, so you have some time to work with it.
I was just going to say, that's the beauty, is that you do have a lot of time to work with it. And you know, you're going to see in the next steps that we're going to embed things in it, and you have plenty of time to play with. So here's my cover, and I'm going to take this clay that I've already mixed up, and you do want to make sure that it's a solid color. Okay. And I'm just going to press it onto my cover.
It seems like I could do it so far.
It's so easy, right? I mean, I thought this was going to take a lot longer the first time I tried it, but it really doesn't take long at all.
And I assume if for some reason you made too little clay, you could just add some more on. It's not a big deal. Like, you don't have to stress about it.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. You can definitely do that. And normally I will, you see how I have some on the edges there?
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that either. I have some wax paper on the table here. I can just cut that right off so I have a nice straight edge.
So you're actually just using like the paper or plastic or whatever this is, chipboard, to like cut.
To cut it.
That's a cool idea.
And so now once you have it all covered except for the notches.
Because you can't bind it, right?
Right, you can't bind it later on, and you really want to be able to do that. So once you have it completely covered, this is where the fun really begins. And I'm going to first add some texture using these rubber texture plates, and I'm going to press it into the clay. But I don't want the clay to stick to my rubber, so I'm just going to add a little bit of this metallic powder.
Magic gold dust. Now, if you didn't have a texture plate, could you use a rubber stamp or like a natural item that you found?
There's so many things that around the house that you can use. And yeah, you just press it into the clay there, and it just leaves this really nice design. And there's so many different metallic powders that you can use, whatever you have.
And I love that you didn't cover the whole thing with the same amount of powder. Like, some of it's darker, some of it's lighter. It's just so that it doesn't stick.
That's right. It's just so it doesn't stick to your rubber. And once you have some texture on there, I found these really sweet little charms. It's a face, and I knew that I wanted to put those in my cover. So I just pressed them onto the...
So you don't need any adhesive?
No, because that's the great thing about the clay. It sticks to anything, except plastic. But it pretty much sticks to anything. And so I'm just going to add my little embellishments. I have some arms here, some little legs.
This is a great way to use up like missing earrings where you only have one.
Old jewelry, absolutely, absolutely.
All that stuff. Oh, this is so cute already.
Yeah, it comes with these little arms. Now, the first one I created, I had a little bezel, and I was able to use that as the body, but today I'm actually going to just use a little piece of wire, and I'll just press that in there, and that's it. I'm done. I'm going to let this sit for 24 hours, and then we'll move on to the next step here. So as you can see, this one already has my little embellishments. It has my my components and everything. The next thing I'm going to do is just liven it up a little bit by adding some color. And I'm just taking some acrylic paint. Obviously, sky's the limit. You can use whatever you have at home.
So you're just using a dry brush, you're not even using water to water it down, and you're just painting right over it. So you are, I noticed, letting some of the gold still show through. You're not like getting into every nook and cranny.
And that's the reason why I personally chose the gold, because I did want it to peek through just a little bit. And so once that paint dries, I want to bring this up a little bit more.
You want to give it something extra.
A little bit extra. And so I went through my stash of fabric scraps, and I just assembled a couple of layers of, leftover trim. I put a little button on there because I want to be able to give her a little attitude.
Oh, and I love that you stitched it with this red thread because then it really shows.
Yeah, just something to kind of make it pop.
And you don't need a lot to really have impact because, I mean, these are very tiny scraps of lace and muslin and stuff, and it looks fabulous.
And I don't know about you, but I have drawer full. I mean,
let's not talk about the
of fabric scraps. So now we'll move on to assembling this and getting it all finished. And I'm going to take this scrap. This is the one that I had already finished.
Okay.
I'll just take a little bit of glue, adhere it to my little book there, and I'll finish it with a little bit of steel wool where I'll go over my little metal components and just kind of bring the shine.
So you're removing the paint a little bit from it.
That's right, that's right. Just because I want to make sure that they don't get lost in the paint.
Okay.
And I just finish it off by adding a little bit of metallic, and it really makes it sing, I think.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so you can see on some of the samples, there's so many design possibilities. You can even make your own molds, and you can use your elements on the cover of the book, or you can completely customize them and make beautiful covered books like Erin Gerlach did here on these. Absolutely beautiful.
So this would be such a great gift to give to somebody. And do you mind grabbing one of those bookstore things? We can take a look at the inside.
Sure.
So this is so fun, and I love how fat it is. It's full of stuff, but there is so much gorgeousness inside of here. I love all the book poetry. We are going to definitely have to have you back to talk about how you made the insides of these, because these layers are just absolutely fabulous. This is so fun, and it is so inspiring to me. Thank you so much, Kat.